Happy Halloween, everyone. Christopher again, Riverside Park again. Very nice day. It's Halloween. So I have good news. So this has been going on for a while, and essentially, I feel. You remember when I believe, yes, his name's Christopher Sanchez, and I think it was Kopech who got dragged out with him. I'm still not sure, but Sanchez definitely got dragged out because I recognize his voice because he never shut the fuck up. But I'm only listening to these people through my ceiling, and anyway, voices. That's not the damn point. Point is, this all started with these two people having been physically enslaved, and me audibly hearing it. A Lisa and a Tyrone, and they are no longer on the premises near the serial violators, let's say, and going through the constant method nonsense, the constant method communist nonsense with these Antifa. So I feel much better because I feel like, well, to be honest with you, I've been going through this bullshit for quite some time, and they're younger than me, and they've been going through worse. I didn't go through anything physical. I apparently found out I my identity stolen. I apparently found out, a lot of things. This guy's been stalking me for 18 years. But that's a good thing, to report on Halloween. I am aware. There's something that's interesting too. I think the NYPD is in there with the FBI also watching those people. Something else very interesting to report. So essentially, I've been looking at my older videos because I've been wondering which part should I do next. And I was going to do the corporate concept section next, but I remembered John Morgan and Nick Morgan, these guys I used to hang out with, and John makes movies. Anyway, I was looking through the videos, and I noticed during the Chris Pollard character profile, there's audio in the background between minute 13 and forward, just moving forward. You hear these voices, and it's not voices of anyone around me. It's not even voices of anyone in that apartment, which means they either recorded someone's voice and are using it, which I wouldn't be very surprised, or it's some person they're affiliated with. But essentially, as I said, they've hacked all my devices and fucked with the audio, and apparently wanted to make a barely audible, perhaps subconscious imprint. And they seem to have settled on an answer as to what their supposed motive is going to be, and it's pretty great. I feel like I should step away from people to say this because it's something. It's the type of stuff money can buy. So immediately after the FBI apparently got the jump on them, God bless them, and saved apparently 4 people, 4 lives, I would say they saved. First thing he did, while explaining supposedly why he tried to shoot me and my family through our ceiling, and we were saved only by cement, the first thing he said was, "He's a Jew." And I'm not Jewish, I'm LT to them. I was raised Catholic, I'm Muslim, now I'm Christian. And I'm like, wow, who the fuck does he think he's talking to? Even that he thinks it's okay to just attack someone for that reason. Later, I pointed out that anytime they pretend to give a fuck about something, they're virtue signaling, and they don't give a fuck about anything at all as based on how they were treating the people that were supposedly in Antifa with them, as far as I can tell. And so they decided to claim every action I take is virtue signaling. If I eat cereal, it's virtue signaling. Things like that. Like everything. If I hug my mother, it's virtue signaling. Sit down. Everything. Eventually, we got to how I'm sure many people watching this will be aware. Communists have kind of subverted the English language as best they could. They've changed the name of the word racist to mean, in some cases, some things only some races can do, right? They've changed the word gender to mean gender role. They've changed, a lot of interesting things. Even the word communist they throw around to mean both anarchy and communism, oddly enough, even though communism never leads to more freedom, depressingly, no matter how hard they try. So they decided to settle on English nationalists. So if you look at the episodes that I posted called Chris Pollard character profile and Stacy Begins, you actually hear them shrieking in the background, if I'm not mistaken. I have been dealing with it for quite some time. Could be crazy. The one Chris Pollard, definitely that one. The other one's shorter, so if you watch that, you won't drive yourself too crazy. And the last thing to report is, I have a couple of things. So I remembered who the other two were. The other two that I have not yet done character profiles for. Or not really, kind of. Because I met this guy, Christopher Gay, one time at a dinner that my friend Rose invited me to. And Kopek appears to have been one of my sister's exes. Or not even. Someone she dated maybe once or twice and didn't call back. Ironically, supposedly because, she had just broken up with a guy, and she was talking to more than one guy, and supposedly he was self-conscious about this, and it's very ironic considering how it all ended. I'll be 100% honest with you. A lot of iron in that diet. What's the last thing? So, and it is a little. In fact, I feel weird talking about it, since it's about family. But I feel like at one point I must have brought this up. That I definitely brought it up. So I can follow through with stating the last thing that I noticed. And I noticed just today, actually. Because this happened a long time ago. This happened over a decade ago. There's so much construction. Anyway, it's midday. We're going to walk away from some construction and tell you my story. So, anyway. Okay, there we go. It's kind of better. So, I believe I told you at one point that my sister was friends with this kid. She said he was younger than me, like something like 40 years younger than me. His name was Chris Sanchez. And I didn't realize this was the same person I got into an argument with on MySpace about he believed that we should be in a giant global USSR where the only art piece allowed is the land before time. In fact, I believe when she told me that, I was like, no way you're friends with that retarded guy. No, you must be talking about a different Chris Sanchez. Lots of people, I'm sure, have that name. No way, right? So, anyway, we all do weird things when we're young, which is why I'm not like, my sister's the weirdest person for being friends with this person. Oh my God, or, my sister was talking to more than one guy at once. Oh my God, So she does tell me at some point, though, that this guy ran away from home very young. Like, around the age she did. Like, when he was 14. And he you gotta do what you gotta do to get by. One day, she asks me, can we use, can my friend use your information for something? I was like, I'm okay with it if it's something small. What, is it something small? And she starts to walk away from me, so I follow her. I'm like, and she's like, oh, no, he wants it for everything. He wants it so he can take welfare out of your name, do this. I'm like, no, that's not okay. Like, no. And she's like, oh, he says he doesn't need it anymore. Everything's fine. I'm like, okay, good. I ended up thinking about it later. I text her. You didn't do that, right? Like, you didn't fucking do that. Like, I don't want to fuck up my shit, I'm going to grow up. I'm going to, have to live my life. We didn't do that. And I ended up talking to her in person about it. And she's like, yeah, I wouldn't do that, without telling you. I'm not crazy. And I believe her, to be honest with you. In fact, let's say I thought, oh, she is my sister, but she's not perfect. She's a human being. And there's this person living on the streets, and then there's me. And, she's young, maybe she... Here's the thing. I've been dealing with Sanchez for months, going fucking nuts in my ceiling, and using psychological tactics to fuck with everyone. And at this point, I've been able to figure out his psychological tactics. So by then, for all I know, he already had all the info, and he was seeing how she would react. And she was mad, probably. I'm sorry, he was probably mad. She asked, and then I asked, what's it for? And when I found out what it was for, I said no. And probably when he said he didn't need it, if he said that, if he didn't say, or if he didn't get it and take it, and my sister just didn't tell me, he's the type that he would just kind of flash in your face to see your reaction and then not give you the opportunity to do anything about it anyway. Does that make sense? So he could hypothetically blame you for it in the future. Because he likes that. Yeah. Yeah, this has gone on a little long. At this point, I'm rambling. Yeah. So at this point, it's still Noel Goldstein and Christopher Gay at apartment 11. Going fucking nuts 24/7 on meth and trying to convince me that their communist jab, their Antifa communist jab, is really just capitalism. And the private being public and people not having right to their own property is really just capitalism. And Marx was just a capitalist who don't understand. So have a good Halloween. Happy Halloween. Thanks for dealing with me. See ya.